Hello there, and welcome to another weekly edition of the Volleyball Coaches Show. I'm Jordan Bazron with MuratAthletics.com. Joined alongside head volleyball coach Steven Gream. Now, Coach, let's go back to the Southeastern Oklahoma game, a game in which you guys dominated in the first set. You held them to a 114 attacking percentage, and you know the next three sets they were kind of rough for you. They made some kind of adjustment there, and you know we noticed from the sideline, from our perspective, that they were rolling a bunch of shots.
Yeah.
So how frustrating was it that they kept rolling shots, and can you talk about how your team played in that match?
Well, as you said, the first match was just beautiful. I mean, we were blocking the ball, we were hitting the ball very well, and we held a good offensive team to 114. I think they're one of the top offensive teams in the conference as far as hitting percentage is concerned. So we were really happy, and then we go into the second set, and of course they're going to make adjustments, and we didn't adjust with them. They kept doing different things that kind of put us in a little bit of a panic mode where we were playing their tempo instead of our tempo, and that was the result in the game. We just never caught up. Now, the fourth set was a little bit better. We just fell short, but we've got to make, as I said in the last interview, we have to do a better job of making those adjustments quicker. And you mentioned the roll shots. Now, there were other shots that they did that they didn't do in the first game too, that we just got to start picking those up a little bit better to make life easier for us.
Now, Banyan had a productive night. She went 10 for 18, and Manji had a career high of 18 kills, and Rayum also had a double-double. Can you talk about, I guess, each performance individually?
Well, Manji's just in the zone right now. I mean, she's just the ankle is definitely not an issue now, and so she's just in the zone. And they triple blocked her, and she was still getting kills. I mean, when you see a hitter doing that, you know things are going to be okay as far as the hitting perspective. But she's done a really good job of doing what Taylor's given her. The passes have been a lot better, which is allowing Taylor to do that and mix the balls up a little bit, so they take some pressure off Amanda and then go back to Amanda. And Amanda's just taking advantage of it. And of course, going back to Taylor's getting the luxury because of the passes to mix things up, which is what we want, because we don't want teams' defenses to just focus on one player. And so by doing that, now we open those holes. That's what happened against Monticello. That's what happened against East Central. That's what happened against Southeastern at first. And then we just kind of fizzled a little bit where we had to go with Mungie for a little bit. So that's the thing that with those two, that they're getting better opportunities and they're getting used to each other better.
Now, can you touch on Albania a little bit? You know, she made the move from right side to middle. Well, she can play anywhere on the front row, but her blocking has been up because she's in the middle. But how good is it to see her still being effective from that middle position?
Oh, it's great. Like you said, we've had her everywhere. We've had her on the right side. We've had her in the middle. And based on what we have with the other hitters, we've put her in the middle, and she's taking it. She's our best blocker right now. So not only is she helping us on the offensive end, she's also helping us on the defensive end. I mean, she was Defensive Player of the Week week before last, and so she's really helped us in that she's steady. You know what to expect with her. You've mentioned her name numerous times this season, and the reason is she's very coachable. She does what she's told, and she makes the adjustments a lot quicker than other people have. And especially being a freshman, that's even bigger thing, is because most freshmen don't make those adjustments as quick as she's making.
Now let's move on to East Central, a team that you're very familiar with. It happened similarly as Southeastern, except it was the other way around.
Yeah.
They ended up taking the first set. You called it a hangover from the Southeastern loss, and then you guys come back and you rev it up and you take the next three sets pretty handily. So McNee and Lauterbach both had double-digit kills, if I remember correctly, and Manji had 21 kills. She set a new career high. Rayum had another double-double. But let's go back to the attackers. How important, with so many kids and double-digit kills, how important is it for Rayum to spread the ball out like she did?
Like I said earlier, it's really important in that it doesn't allow the defense to focus on one player. Instead of one player, now you're focusing on three players, or hopefully even five players that we have, because we're running 5-1 offense. So it allows those holes to get even bigger, and that's why you take a Monticello team who has the highest opponent hitting percentage with their defense, and you hit 220 and 230 against them. That's how you do that. You open the holes up, and the court is 30 by 30, so you're going to take advantage of that when you open things up. If you allow one hitter to be the star, now the defense can cheat on that player, and then you really got a mess. So that really is very important in opening up the offense.
Now let's recap last week in a nutshell. Manji, 68 kills, 4.53 kills per set, ridiculous numbers. It doesn't seem to be her ankles bothering her anymore.
No, she's she's jumping just fine. Her serve is back now. She was a little upset about her serve not being as potent as it has been because she hadn't had that lift. But no, she's healthy. She's going. Like I said, she's in the zone right now, hitting very well. Teams, like I said, are triple blocking her, and she's still getting kills. So, and she's not just staying in one area. She's moving anywhere on the net. She's getting kills from all over the net, which again makes the defense have to work a little bit and not cheat on a certain area.
Now that they're gonna focus in on Manji, is that a good opportunity for the other hitters to get their chance?
Oh yeah. Look, I mean, if I was playing against our team and scouting against our team, I'm saying we got to stop number 5. And so that's going to open up the other 4 hitters for easy kills, which again will cause problems for the defense because eventually they're going to make those adjustments, and then you go back to Manji, who's having a good time, and then it's not a good situation for his coach. I've been there.
Now Rayum, she had 3 double-doubles in 4 matches last week in assists and digs. I know you've made a little tweak to your defense to where it shifted a little bit. Is that allowing her to get more digs, and how is she able to be so effective on defense, man?
It is allowing her to get more digs because she's where she's at on that defense, but it's also teams are going to start attacking the setter on the back row in a 5-1 offense usually because they want to take that setter out of the set. If I can put a secondary setter in to set, they think that might can slow our offense down. The problem is we've got 2 former setters out there, which we just keep on going. We're like, okay, fine. And Taylor's doing a good job getting the ball to them. So it's really not working as much as teams are thinking. But again, Taylor's really worked on her defense because she knew that was going to happen. And also, with her setting improving. So she's just kind of getting more acclimated to D2, and that's why you have the stats you have.
Now last week, in each of your 4 games, your team hit over 200 attacking percentage. How good is it to see your team improving, and what do you think is the cause for your team's improvement?
It's great. We've had below sub 200 hitting percentage. We've been playing good teams too, but I think the main reason why we're hitting so much better is we are finally getting used to each other. We've got so many kids. We have 2 new setters. And when you have 2 setters, and those 2 setters set differently themselves, when you have hitters that are trying to get used to those 2 people, and plus you have new passers that are trying to get the ball to those setters, it just takes time, especially when you're playing good teams, to get that rhythm going. Now we're starting to get that rhythm going a little bit, and that's why the offense is running so much smoother now.
Now moving into this week, tonight you have Lion, an NAIA team, a team that maybe you know a little bit about. You've watched film on them. What have you seen strength-wise and maybe a weakness or 2 from them?
Strength-wise, they like to use their middles. They have 2 middles that love to run just about any set that a middle can run. And they run it fairly fast. They do a really good job of trying to mix other thing up and then go back to the middle. But their main thing is they want to run their middles. That's where they've been ever since I've known them. Things they have trouble with is their passing, which will hurt the middles because if you can't make a good pass, you can't set the middles. So our strategy is just keep aggressive with the attack and the serve to kind of make sure they can't set those middles and then focus on the outside, which is basically what other teams are trying to do to us, where we can't focus. They have to focus on Manji all the time instead of everybody else.
Now, Lion, a team you're 3-0 against in your tenure here. What is the main, focus whenever you play a team like Lion? I mean, not a big time opponent. What is the main focus for your team?
Just play our game. They're a non-conference game. They're not even a D2 team, but at the same time, we want to play competition to kind of help us work on things. There's some things that we need to do to work different plays or run a different offense or run a different defense, or just get some people some playing time so we can have our depth kind of stronger toward the end when we get to conference play. So those games are really good for us to really work on things because. It's one thing to practice against your own teammates, another thing to practice in a game. And that is going to make us stronger going into this weekend and beyond, is where we can actually work on things. Okay, that doesn't work, let's try something else. Or that works really well, let's try it again when we play Southwest and Northwest next weekend.
Now, speaking of this weekend, we go to Oklahoma, another road trip. Your team must be pretty used to road trips by now. But we start with Southwest. Let's talk about the parity of this conference. Southwest, they took 5 sets to beat an East Central team that you guys took pretty handily, but they also went to Southeastern, a team you guys lost to, and beat them in 5 sets. Can you talk about the parity of this conference? And I guess it somewhat depends on what team you're going to get on a particular night.
And that's exactly right. It really sees who shows up that night. The one thing I love about this conference and Division II is there are no easy games. You have to come prepared to play every night. And from the number 1 team in the conference to the number 11 team in the conference, you have to come prepared to play, and that's one thing that keeps your players up and focused and everything like that. The key thing with the parity is those Oklahoma schools know each other so well, and that's part of the reason why you have Southeast and East Central going at it with Southwest. Is they know each other so well, just like we know Monticello, we know Henderson State, we know those, so they play each other more. But at the same time, anybody can be anybody on any given night. So the key thing for us is we've got to scout them as best as we can, go in there thinking that we can do the things we've talked about in the scouting report, and just try to execute the best we can, because they don't know us very well and we don't know them very well, so it's basically a wash there.
Now, on Southeastern, what are some keys to victory in that matchup?
Against Southwestern, I think we need to really focus on their key hitters. Their key hitters they got 2 outside hitters that have done really good, especially against us last year. They really killed us last year with their attack. They have some good right side, some Mills that will put up a block and help out with the offense. Like the right sides are doing really well right now. Did really well against OBU earlier. So the key thing is we got to do what we've been doing: serve aggressive, play defense, and really get all our hitters in the mix. Not just focus on one hitter. We need to get all our hitters in the mix to kind of, again, open those holes up and cause them problems where they can't run their offense the way they want to run it.
Now, moving into Saturday, a game against Northwestern, a team that's ineligible for the postseason in the GAC, but a team that's 3-1 in the GAC. What have you seen from them so far? They've kind of done what they're supposed to do. They've lost to Arkansas Tech, a higher tier team, but they've beat some lower tier teams. So what have you seen from them so far? And again, what does your team need to do to come out of Oklahoma with essentially another victory?
Same thing basically as Southwest. They have 2 outside hitters that are really good. We need to slow them down. They're going to play defense. One thing about that Northwest team is they're going to get balls up. Now they might not be pretty, but they're going to get balls up. They're going to be real scrappy on defense. Their coach has done a really good job of really building that team up. Last year they took Harding to 5. They took us to 5. They took numerous teams to 5. And now they've added another recruiting class to go with it. Their setter's very good. I even looked at their setter in my recruiting. So they have some good pieces there, and they're just slowly getting used to this conference to where they're competing. That's why they're 3-1 conference.
All right, guys, you heard it here first. Tonight at 6 p.m., the Lady Mule Riders in their 5-game homestand at W.T. Watson Center, and then this weekend, Friday at 6 p.m., they move back into conference play against Southwestern, and then a quick turnaround on Saturday against Northwestern Oklahoma at 2 p.m. We hope to see you out there, and we hope that you continue to join us throughout the season. Thanks again, Coach.
Thank you.